Hello guys, you're welcome to this video. In this video, I'll be showing you how you can create tables in the Microsoft SQL Query Management Studio. To start creating tables, there's a create table statement. So the table statement is used to create new tables in a database. Okay, so once you've created a table, you can now insert the value. So the insert into statement is used to insert new records in a table. And then after we're done inserting these values, we are going to update our tables and also rename the columns. Okay, so let's head on to Microsoft SQL Query Management Studio. Okay, so to create a table, we write the create table statement, create tables. So what's the name of the table you want to create? So let's say you want to create new product. Okay, new product. So that this is a new product. This is a new table that we want to create. So once you've done that, we enter into the next line and we list the column names. So this is where we're going to write the column names of that table called new product. So the first column name is going to be product ID, and we make that column an integer. So including int, which stands for integer, converts that data in that column to become an integer. Okay. So we separate that column with a comma. So we write the next comma, the next column, let's say items, and we make that item a voucher. A voucher stores a text data of length, let's say a voucher of 30, which stores text data of 30. Okay, and we separate that column by a comma. So the next column name will be selling price, or let's say sell price. So we make that column a float. Okay, a float can be a decimal number that has, for example, 4000.00. That is a float. So the next column we can say product type, a product type, and we make that column a voucher that contains a character of a text character of 30. Okay, so once you're done with listing your columns, you close the bracket, okay, and then run the query. So you highlight, and then you come to execute, or you click on F5, and now we can see that the query has run. So this is command completed successfully, and this is the completion time. Okay, so once you're done with that, let's have a view. We can now say, so we have done creating our table now. Let's insert into our tables values. So to insert values into these tables columns that we have created, we use a command known as insert into, and then we write the table name. You see that as we started writing new, the table name came up. So click on it. So insert into new product values. We want to list the values that will be contained in these columns: product ID, items, and sell price, and product type. So we're going to list the value that is going to be contained there. So the product ID, let's say 101, we put comma, and then the items that we're going to put there must be in a text string with quotation mark. So you can choose to use a single quotation or a double quotation. So the first item there will be, let's say, jewelries, and then we close that string. Okay, and now we head on to our selling price. So let's say the selling price will be 1,800. Okay, so once you're done, hit on comma. So the next column value is product type. So it's going to be in the text form. So the product type, let's say luxury, close the quotation mark, and then close the bracket, and don't forget to put a comma. So we enter the next line, we open a bracket. Now the next product ID will be 102, comma, and then the next product will be t-shirts, we close, and the selling price will be, let's say, 100, comma. Let's make the product type non-luxury, put a comma. So the next product ID will be 103, comma. The next item will be, let's say, laptop, then, and the selling price will be 1,300. We will make it luxury, okay, comma. Let's write another row, product ID 104. The item will be, let's say, tables. The selling price 400. Let's make this non-luxury, non-luxury, close the quotation mark. So once we're done with that, let's run it. Highlight everything there, and then click on F5 or execute. So now you've seen here from our output that we have 4 rows affected. So we have successfully created 4 rows of data, which is 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay. So to have a view of these tables that we have created, we can say select star. That means select star. We want to see everything. The star means that we want to see everything on that table. So select star. Where do you want to see from? From the new product, which is the table that we have just created. So we write the new. See, as we wrote new, the table name comes up. So select everything from new products. Okay, so we highlight it and run so that we can have a view of our table. So you can see this is the view of our new product. Okay, we have the product ID 101. You see it over here that we inserted the value 102, or is it 103, 104, and the item which was in the text string, jewelry, t-shirt, laptop, and the selling price of those products and the product type. Okay, so we have successfully created a table. So let's say you want to make some changes to this table. Let's say we want to change the selling price of the product ID 101, or you want to change the product price of the selling price of the jewelry, which is 1,800. You want to change it to 2,000. So what you're going to do here, you're going to use another statement known as updates. So we use update which table? New product table. That is where we want to update. So once you write update new product, you're given a command that a new table you want to update a value in the table called new product. So now once you've done that, you are now going to set the new values you want to include. So we say set, because we want to make changes to the selling price. Here's our selling price. We want to make changes to 1,800, which is the selling price. So we say now set sell price now to be equal to any value, any number that you want to put, any value you want to put. Let's say 2,000. We want to change 1,800 to 2,000. So we say this selling price is equal to 2,000. Now, if you run this query the way it is now, we are going to have 2,000 as a value for all the rows. So row 1, you are going to have 2,000. Row 2, you are going to have 2,000. Row 3, you are going to have 2,000. So, but we don't want to change the whole of the selling price for all the product. We want to make changes to only the jewelries. Okay. To do that, we are going to use another statement called where. Where is a featuring statement that will specifically make changes to the exact column, the exact row that you want to make these changes. It will make these changes for you. So we say where do you want to make these changes? Where the product ID, where this product ID is equal to. Now SQL will now know that, oh, you want to make the changes in the selling price column, and with this where clause, where will give an instruction that these changes should be effected. SQL will make these changes where we have product ID 101. So let's run this query and see what we got. You can see now we have one row affected. That means these changes affect only one row. It didn't affect the whole of this row. Only one row is affected. So now we are done. Let's have a view of our new updated table. So we say select everything from where? From our table called new product. Let's have a view of the updated tables. Let's run it and see what we got. Now we can see that our tables is being updated to 2,000. Okay, so it was 1,800 before. The jewelry, the row that has jewelry is 1,800. The row that has jewelry is 1,800 is now 2,000 because we have updated. Okay, so we now have 2,000. It didn't affect other rows. Okay, so we are done updating our tables. So now we are going to rename columns. Let's say you want to make changes to the column names. You want to change the column names. To do that, we are going to write a code that will help us rename columns. Let's say we want to rename the column sales price to cost price. Okay, so we want to rename this column sell price to cost price. To do that, we are going to write a code. Except exec rename. Sorry, exec xp rename, and then now we are going to write the tables. So our table name is new product, and the column that we want to rename sell price. We close the quotation. put a comma. Now we're going to open a quotation mark for the new name that you want to rename, which is cost price. So please take note of this code so you can use it to rename your column. Okay, so we're done with that. Then we put a comma and then specify that it's a column that you want to make changes to. Okay, so once you're done, you put semicolon. So let's run. Okay, everything is set. So now let's run it. Okay, so it has run. So they say caution, changing any part of an object name could break script and stop procedure. So once you make these changes, it is very hard to get back what you got before, unless you have to rename it again. So to do that, so let's see how our table looks like and see whether these changes have been affected from new product. Okay, so let's run it and see if. Okay, so now we have seen that we have successfully changed sell price to cost price over here, and we're able to change the value for the product ID. The selling price for the product ID 101 was 1,800 before. Now we made the changes to 2,000, and we're able to rename this column, which was called sell price, to cost price. So we have come to the end of this video. Thank you for watching.